It's 107.1. It's WTLZ Saginaw with Steve Harvey in the morning and simply the best R&B all day. Take us everywhere. Your smartphone, in your car, to work, or live at KissWTLZ.com. We're Kiss 107.1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. I am here with you on today, and I'm excited to have the conversation that I have. You see that there's somebody else that's in the stream with me. It's been a while since he's been here. Happy New Year and Happy New You, to my brother, Jeffrey Bulls. How you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing great. Happy New Year to you as well.
All right. So he's here to talk with me about one thing in particular. We're going to have a conversation about the state of Black Saginaw, which he and his organization, Saginaw CAP, are responsible for hosting. I think this is your third year. Am I correct? Something like that?
It's the second.
Second year. Okay.
Yes.
Your second year of hosting this event. And the reason that they do it is because
we want to set the tone for the new year. And this is 2025. So we want to do it again.
This is a new year. We have to have some new plans. We got to talk about a new agenda. We need a resolution. We'll talk about all of that stuff in just a quick second. But before you do that, I want to give a shout out to my producer. And he's come up with a new saying in 2025. How you doing, my man, Matthew?
What up, though?
Or maybe not. We still trying to get him together. Give a shout out to Sharice Steele Phillips, who happens to be the first person in our stream. We certainly want to thank you for continually listening. I want you to like, tag, and share this conversation with other individuals as we are getting ready to have a very interesting conversation. And I'm excited about what we're getting ready to do. So I want you guys to stay, don't go away. Stay tuned, get involved with this conversation that we're about to have. And as we always talk about it, I don't even want to get to this section. I want to go in reverse instead of having to move forward with what I say I wanted to talk about next. And that is the situation with our boys, the mighty One Pride Lions. Both of my brothers that are in the studio today are Lions fans. I told y'all this is why I struggle to be a Lions fan, because they always get you right to the water and never let you drink. We want to drink of the Super Bowl waters. But these brothers are here today. Matt, you know I got to bring you in. Matt shuts down show. Hey, Mr. Bowen, can we close early? Could you please be ready to get out of here? The game is going on. What's going on? What's going on, Matt?
Well, to start things off, I didn't like that both Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, I believe it was 8 interviews apiece they had during the bye week.
Yes.
You know, it seemed like, honestly, we just weren't ready for it. We were out-coached, outplayed, out-muscle. You know, we were with them for a little bit, but then obviously the defensive injuries caught up with us. And, you know, we gave them our best shot, but in the end, we fell.
He's had more to say about the Lions than about the national debt deficit, student loan crisis. He is truly a Honolulu blue and silver fan. Jeff, you're here. What are your thoughts about what you saw on yesterday?
Man, just disappointment. Yeah, I too share that sentiment that our coaches were out interviewing all week instead of game planning, and you saw the result of that.
So when you say that, Jeff, and we think about what's going on and what we're saying, I got a question. How are you feeling? How do you continually? This is a question I got to ask all my Lions fans out there, and some people. I'm not a bandwagoner. Of course, I want the hometown team to win. I've never been able to really bring myself to be a Lions fan. Kind of like I've never been a Pistons fan. How do you continually? So next year, what's the deal next year? So we're back at it. We're gonna hope and believe again. And
oh yeah, we're right back at it, man. I've been here since 0-16, really before that. So if I can make it through that, I can make it through anything.
I'm so blessed by people who are just die-hard fans who make it happen over and over again. I don't have the intestinal fortitude for it. I got to give up. Let me go through. That's how I ended up being a 49ers fan, but I'm not dealing with much different this year myself. All right, so we're going to put the One Pride to sleep for a while. The Cubs are napping. Soon it'll be time to go into hibernation until we come back for next year. And I want to talk to all of my young people who are out there. I shouldn't say young people because old heads are out there enjoying this as well. And what I'm talking about is the fact that we had a whole 18-hour ban on TikTok, or was it even that long?
that long? I don't
9
think
hours.
it was that long.
But let me tell you about this. So I said this is never going to happen. They're never going to let this happen. So that we were talking about it, and somebody was using TikTok, and then the app just went dead. So I went through my app store because I don't particularly have TikTok.
Yeah.
I might have an account, but I don't use it.
Right.
And I was trying to download the app. So when I was looking to download the app, it said processing. This app is not available, and I died laughing. I said, "This is actually happening."
Yeah.
And I was looking at posts online, and everybody's like, "First the Lions, now TikTok." I was like, not only that, first the Lions, now TikTok, but we're going to talk about it. Then Snoop Dogg. But we're going to get to that in a minute, Joe, because I'm really interested in what your thoughts are as it relates to our mentality in the village. But the ban went through it. But, hey, it's a new day. President Trump, when does he officially become president?
The inauguration is tomorrow. So
so it's immediately because he swears in tomorrow.
Yes.
All right, but he's pretty much the president now. We've got a lame duck that's been out there duck goosing for a minute. So we gonna keep it moving. But what was interesting is how quickly it happened, and I can't wait until number 47. He used to be number 45. Now he's number 47. He comes and he shares with the world how he saved TikTok. Now, I have a couple thoughts on this. And I want to throw those out there just so you know, he talks about, oh, TikTok is amazing. It's how I became reelected. The younger generation, oh, they love me. You should see the millions and millions of people. They love me. TikTok has been amazing. We're going to save it. But I also know that there is another company out there that is like doing everything, jumping through hoops, bending over, doing the splits in midair, called Facebook or Meta, that did ban him at one time. Yes. And everybody knows that once you get off the team, you ain't getting back on the team.
Right.
And so he's been banned. And so I said, hey, you know, if TikTok gets banned, guess who the biggest benefactor would be from that? Meta would be, right?
Yep.
Because in essence, that's what the reels are on Meta. They came up with something to try to keep that younger generation or to draw them, because it's the same thing. You know, you're talking Absolutely. 30 seconds, 60 seconds, a minute and a half of content. There's a paid platform. Meta wasn't trying to give you nothing. And TikTok is out there making millionaires. So people are like, why should we stay on this platform when we can go make money over here?
Right.
So the biggest benefactor to that debacle would have been Meta. Do you think number 47, after being banned from his platform, is saying, you think I'm going to be nice to you? No, I'm going to save this Chinese company and you're never going to be on my team. And so they allowed them to go dark just for the the theatrics of the moment.
Pretty much.
All right. To bring them back so that he can say, hey, I saved them. Beholden to me, people. And Meta now has to continually deal with this, not having the same leverage sitting at the table. They're out there changing the way their platform operates. You can say whatever you want on our platform again, but I don't think that it's going to happen. So that is my personal take. What do you think, Jeff?
Pretty much the same. You know, it was a tactic. That's all it was. I mean, you know, their announcement, even putting Trump in it, lets you know that it was a tactic. And so, you know, unless you just had your head in the sand, you had to know that it was a tactic, and then 5 seconds later it's right back on. So that's just what it was.
I'm blown away by the things that we're about. What y'all don't realize is that last time there was the hope that after I do this year, that I'll come back and there'll be another term that I'll be as president. This is all he got. So short of changing how you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sort of becoming a non-democratic society, or a rule by king, or maybe an oligarch. This is it. So it's for all the marbles. So there may be some things that we see this time that the hope of another term would have settled him in himself, but this is it. So it's a run for the border, making everything happen. Which I'm going to say this about you Democrats that are out there, because y'all be getting on my nerves. He's going to do what he wants to do. The Republicans are not going to think about what happens after this. They're going to do what is necessary and the things that they want to do while they're in office. And why is that important? Because there's a lot that could have been done with this last administration, excuse me. But it's like, oh, well, we don't want to do this because if we do that, when they get power again, then ain't nobody caring.
No.
Nobody cares but us. That's why when MLK talked about them well-intending moderates, they're dangerous because they're not suffering. They're not the ones that are suffering. They're not the ones. So they can say, hey, it's not the time.
Absolutely.
They can say we need to be a bit more patient because they're not the ones suffering and not getting the things that are necessary. So we're here. We're getting ready to move forward. It is what it is. Y'all got a new president tomorrow, number 47. Congratulations. He didn't do you well enough the first time around, so we get him again. All right, so in addition to that, what's happening tomorrow? Tomorrow is what? Let's talk about what it is for us who are the melanated folks, Jeff. Tell them what it is.
Man, it's the state of Black Saginaw right here in Saginaw, in the city of Saginaw. I want to emphasize that. And, man, we're ready to, really get 2025 in motion and talk about what we need to do.
All right, so we're going to talk about the state of Black Saginaw. That's what we're talking about. And then also, it's interesting that you had it on tomorrow's date, because tomorrow also represents what, Jeff?
MLK Day.
I wanted to say this because it is tomorrow. Black people across the country are going to be celebrating Mr. Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King. And this is the day that the government came up with, and this is the day that this is not new. We've been doing this forever. So tomorrow, Black America will be celebrating this man, this legacy that has really impacted us as a people, and celebrating his contributions to overcoming or pushing agendas that have helped us overcome in some areas. But what's happening tomorrow as well in Alabama and Mississippi, Mr. Jeffrey Bulls?
They're also celebrating General Lee in Alabama and Mississippi. And if you don't know who General Lee is, he's the leader of the Confederacy that took up arms against the country and really against Black people.
Well, I'll tell you, for kicks and giggles, Sister Sharice out there, it is so interesting they chose this date to do that kind of thing.
Interesting.
People, I'm going to tell you, we have to really be about our business. We got to stop this internal bickering that we often have about things, because they out here playing in our face now. This has been a day that has long stood for what we are going to celebrate it for, and that is the fact that we're celebrating a man, our history, our legacy, overcoming oppression and slavery. On the same day, the new president will be in office. They are also celebrating icons from Whistling Dixie in the days gone by. This is horrific. And so we have to just call these things what they are. Now, in addition to this, because I got to get all of this stuff off my mind, Brother Jeff, we have, as it always were. I remember in 2016, there was a rapper that had a lot of respect from Black America, about understanding the culture, understanding where we came from, ain't nothing but a G thing. Drop it like it's hot. He was making Black America really respond. He was one of those rag to riches story, if you could, taking his pain and turning it into power on the microphone.
Right.
And he made this impassioned video that he was saying, like, man, which of these clowns are going to be the first ones? It didn't age well. Which of these clowns are going to be the first ones to go and tap dance for the master? And, it's a shame. We always have one that's going to go out there. I want to see who's going to be the first one. Well, a few years later, here we have it. On the good ship. My man is tap dancing and singing,
yes,
and DJing, using all his talents for number 47. And I'm talking about the man Snoop Dogg. And I guess the reason I wanted to leave with Snoop Dogg, because he was the one who said that they were clowns and they were an embarrassment, and he couldn't wait to make a video and just dog them out.
Right.
And now we see that he is out here doing the same thing, tap dancing for the massa.
Yep.
Jeff, when you saw this, it's not just him, but it's him and Nelly. who comes from the Lou. These are people who are icons in Black America. And we talk about issues, and I don't want to go backwards and talking about Black men and they vote. You vote for whoever you want to vote for, right? But the reality of it is understanding how the culture, because they had to understand this. Understanding how many times we've heard these individuals say you got to do it for the culture. Understanding 50 years of hip hop being celebrated at the Super Bowl. Was that last year?
Yes.
Just last year. All of the things that are coming out. This new step with Kendrick Lamar and Drake, and the commentary that he has had about, how Black America is being portrayed and he's fighting for our people. And now he is on the main stage doing the dance for the master. What are your thoughts concerning that, Jeff?
Well, it just brought to mind something that Malcolm X talked about. And he
What's that?
He talked about, Black entertainers being puppets, and that they shouldn't be leaders in our community anyway. And this latest thing kind of reminds us and shows us that, like, entertainers are just entertainers. They're going to dance and sing and tell jokes, and they can't be taken seriously.
And that's the shame, because they are the ones who have the power of the mic, the power of influence. They are the ones that our young people aspire to be like.
Right.
They are the creators of this thing that we call culture.
Mm-hmm.
They help set standards and barriers and all of these other things. And you would think that at some point they would be guardmen or watchmen for the community. But it was the most hilarious thing and just upsetting at the same time to see Snoop Dogg out there dressed to the nines on the DJ turntable with a whole bunch of stiffs. Talk about drop it like it's hot. I was like, what? They don't even get it.
No.
But this is I can't say Damascus. It's not about the humanity. This is a decolorization, a whitewashing of who we are as a people and our culture, an attempt to do it, but we're better than that.
Absolutely.
Because we've always had those detractors out there forever. How does he return and face the Black community after this Sambo show?
Well, I mean, we haven't held anybody to a standard, so he'll be allowed back in. That's our problem that we have, is that we haven't enacted a standard, and we certainly aren't, upholding one. So that's a problem that we need to address.
So we are we get upset. We are selectively outraged by things and by people. And the saddest thing that I want to say, Jeff, before we get into the meat of today's conversation, the thing that's most sad about this isn't just that it's Snoop Dogg, but it's to respond to a lot of people. Y'all don't understand. He getting a check. Get your check. So there's a lot. So our history, our people, our culture, our identity, the pain of our ancestors is up for the highest bidder.
Yeah.
And people are willing to sell themselves for a check. This is one of the things when we talk about rebuilding the village and we talk about the village coming back together. This has been always one of those things that has hindered the village from really being able to connect, because we got one person who wants to be the pick me from our side, to be in the face of other people and other groups of people so that they can say they finally made it. Well, Snoop, you finally made it. I won't forget. Nelly, was it Rod Wave?
Yeah.
And people are like, who is Rod Wave? And I wouldn't have known who he was. But Jeff, you, like I, work and deal with young people.
Yeah.
And so he is the hottest thing, one of the hottest things out there among a younger demographic. You got to go see him. Little chunky guy with curly hair who always falling off a stage somewhere. But he is, and they say, no, you got to hear what he said. He does. He's a conscious lyricist. He talks about the struggles, the pains of overcoming where he is. If you've seen concerts with young people, like being emotional and crying, he taps in to that vulnerable space. And so people go and they're moved because he's telling a message that many of our young people can relate to, or at least desire to relate to. And so he's one of the people out there as well. So what does this say as we begin to move forward? I know you said what Malcolm X said about our entertainers, but what does this mean in terms of how we move forward as a people? And how we, we're always using entertainers and celebrities as carrots to draw people in for conversations. Should we continue to do that thing, or should we really just work toward the people that are in the village. Let's roll up our sleeves and make it happen, Joe.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to entertainers being a part of the solution, but they should be using their platform, in my opinion, to then bring the more serious people, the academics, the people that can actually speak to the struggle and speak to, policy remedies that we really need to be talking about.
When you think about people who speak to the struggle, who speak to the essence of what it is that we're dealing with, Jeff, who are some of those people that you think have the credibility, the awareness, as well as the ability to handle such a dynamic task?
I'm a big fan of Tavis Smiley myself.
Okay,
I hate that he's not in major media anymore.
Let's. There was a situation that happened. I don't even remember what it was back in the day. Was this in the 90s?
It was his criticism of President Obama that kind of took him out. And, our community, again, attacked him instead of listening to the truth. And, we're still in that state where we're not willing to listen to the truth, especially if we think it harms somebody's appearance or their integrity, which, we should be able to, have a real conversation about the issues. And, if it put President Obama in a bad light, so be it. Let's deal with it.
This is what we got to understand. President Obama came in and we were excited because he was a black man and he was trying to toe the line to be everybody's president.
Yep.
Which I understand the push. I understand the weight, because he was a nobody till somebody pulled him up from having a speech over in Illinois and they brought him forward. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with that is this. When we look at my complaint with Joe Biden.
Yep.
You have the potential to do so much, but you're trying to be everybody's president and worry about what happens. But the people who are in pain or the people who need the needle to move, you're overlooking because you want to be liked by everybody.
Yep.
And the fact of the matter is, I was glad I voted for not Donald Trump, never, but President Obama. And the reason I voted for President Obama was because he was black. I say that unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality of the situation is, as we look after that first term, there was not a lot that could happen. One, because he was a black man. And there was a level of disrespect that I've never seen before in that realm of politics. But I also saw the fact that we had folks who just were like, well, maybe we shouldn't push so hard. And that began to just really take away from what I thought could have been an amazing opportunity. Because I'll tell you what, every white president, and they don't have to talk about it. They don't have to make a disclaimer because every president was white up until that point.
Right.
But they did what was good for the people that represented them and the people who put them in office.
Mm-hmm.
So all we saying, bruh, you cool, you're good. You got your little stiff two-step and all that other stuff. But when we get into places where we have the ability to make an impact, let's stop apologizing because nobody cares what happens when they do what they do. So you got to do what's right for the people that put you in office.
Absolutely.
We're going to take our first commercial break. When we get back, we're going to start talking about the state of Black Saginaw. Please get the family in here so we can have this conversation. We'll talk to you soon. Stick, stay, don't go away.
Great Lakes Bay Health Centers is one of the best healthcare organizations that one could find.
It's consistent throughout each location.
I truly believe that my son would be here if it wasn't for Great Lakes Bay Health Centers.
I trust him implicitly. When they talk, I listen.
Great Lakes Bay saved my life.
I wouldn't go anywhere else. I want Great Lakes Bay Health to be a part of our lives for whatever we need in the future.
I trust Great Lakes Bay Health Centers.
And I trust Great Lakes Bay Health Centers.
Learn more at greatlakesbayhealthcenters.org.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in the parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Game on, Mid-Michigan. Coach Ryan Wasik here from Bell Wasik GMC Buick, your only local Buick dealer and home of the lifetime warranty. If you've been fumbling around town in a car you hate, punt it, because this month you could drive a nicer, newer car for just $1 down. See, all I want to do is watch football, but I can't relax until I kick off the new year. So get your head in the game, and you could drive home in a car you love for just $1 down. That's a touchdown for not much down. Plus, at Bell Wasik GMC Buick, we're all about affordability. We don't leave anything up to a coin toss. My team has a playbook of solutions. We work hard to help you find the car you love for a monthly payment you can afford. So if you want to feel like a winner, but your old ride makes you feel like a loser, punt it and touchdown for just $1 down in a nicer, newer car. But hurry, a deal this good won't last long and it won't go into overtime. I'm Ryan Wasik and I'm your dealer for the people. See all my MVP rides at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit and $1 down requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely ends January 31st, 2025.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples home and office hot deals, you save big on tech.
And new posters.
Save on custom printing too.
And
a new chair?
A chair? Who has time to sit?
Maybe all your new clients?
Now you're talking.
With Staples home and office hot deals, you'll find huge savings on custom prints, storage, chairs, and tech. And now save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppable bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppable, you just toss, wash, wow, for all day freshness.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's exclusive offer on RocketGrabPlus.com is brought to you by Applied Training Solutions located in the Midland Mall. We're giving you half off a one-day Michigan concealed pistol license class, originally $120, now available for just $60. This class is a requirement for a CPL in the state of Michigan. Don't miss out on this fantastic deal. Visit RocketGrabPlus.com to claim yours today. RocketGrabPlus.com.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Stop the countdown. Don't let the new year pass you by. Get to McDonald's GMC to save the day. If you're buried in a loan or lease, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth, McDonald's GMC wants to get you leased. Mac the Trade Man is giving more. Plus, every clearly marked new McDonald's GMC, 0 down, 0 payments until March, or 0% financing, and $1,250 customer cash. Because everyone is on the employee pricing list. New GMC Terrain, just $199 per month lease. New GMC Sierras, lease just $172 per month, or $14,000 off MSRP on every clearly
clearly marked new crew cab or heavy duty diesel. We're bigger, we're better, and we want to stuff your stocking. Garage, that is. McDonald GMC, State Street, Saginaw. We are professional grade. Approved credit, not all will qualify. Plus tax, title, license, and 260 title and registration processing fee. Bonus cash with qualified 2020 or newer trade. Plus dealer discount by Sierra through GMF. Terrain, $27.78 per thousand. Negative equity refinance. Rebates and incentives to dealer. 24 months, $21.95 due. 10,000 mile. Offers not in combination. Expires 2/4/25.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on Kiss 107.1.
This is Kareem with more Straight Talk. I'm here in the studio with Jeffrey Bulls, the president of CAP, Community Coalition.
Community Alliance for the People.
Thank you. Let me get it right. Community Alliance for the People. I'm talking about coalitions. Community Alliance for the People. Jeff, it's good to have you here, and we're going to talk about the state of Black Saginaw. It is something that we have been having these conversations about. Why don't you take a second while we're here right now and just kind of share with folks what is the state of Black Saginaw? What is it that's going to take place?
It's a forum, a town hall style forum where we address what ails Black Saginaw specifically, and then look at some solutions on how we move forward.
Okay, and so tomorrow, this is year number 2 that you guys have been having this conversation.
Yes.
What are the things that are ailing Saginaw? If you were to be able to just really quickly off cuff share, what are some of the things that you think are detrimental to the real development and the restoration of the village? What would you say those things are?
Well, we're going to address 4 things, which is Black health, Black leadership, Black dollars, and Black votes. Personally, I think the number one issue in Saginaw, whether it's Black Saginaw or Saginaw overall, is housing. And it's not even close to me. And so we need to address that. And that delves into health as well, because if you don't have somewhere safe to stay, safe to live, safe to lay your head, it's going to affect health outcomes.
Absolutely. It that is a public health situation.
Absolutely.
So we look at that, just as we were talking about gun violence, having a peaceful community is essential to good health.
Mm-hmm.
Having a place that you're not stressed out about where you're living, having to move, on a regular basis, not being able to afford rent. How is it going to get taken care of? Keeping the lights on. All of those things are things that have the ability to really attack and destroy an individual's health.
Mm-hmm.
So as we look at, once again, give me those 4.
They're Black health, Black leadership, Black dollars, and Black votes.
All right, let's start with, we're going to start with Black health. And you said one of those key elements is housing. Well, there is an organization out there that came to your rescue. They got put an S on their chest and put the cape on their back. They came in to save. So what is the issue? People are dealing with, they're coming up with a higher purpose of how they're going to deal with the issues in our community. What do you say about these efforts to solve the problem with housing for Black folks without the conversation of Black folks in their plan?
Well, that's it. They're coming to solve it instead of, just being a part of the process where Black folks lead in the solution. And so, we don't need another Superman. That particular idea was actually stolen. It's something that, Black people are already doing. 1 week, 1 street is already happening. And so, what are we talking about?
What do you mean it was already here? Well, I'm confused.
Pastor Baldwin, he's doing 1 week, 1 street. He's been doing it for about, I don't know, at least 10 years, probably more like 15 years.
And let's talk about what 1 week, 1 street is. Because I was and the reason I want to say this is because I was in Jeff, you really gonna get me a trade.
Hey, I can say it, it's me.
I was in a particular closed setting, and this conversation came up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking with individuals that are out there that are involved in this conversation
Mm-hmm.
or in this work of housing. And the Habitats, the United Way, all of the organizations that exist, the CACs and different
Right.
people. And this conversation came up, and we began to talk about the wonderful work. And I want to give you a shout out, Pastor Baldwin.
Mm-hmm.
When nobody else was considering doing what you were doing, when nobody else was concerned, you looked around your neighborhood and your community, which I absolutely love, and you began to do what was necessary for your community.
Absolutely.
And detractors, when you have a certain amount of success and people are taking note and they're beginning to put money behind it. People get ideas, and it comes in the form of let's partner, but it sometimes looks like a siphoning of ideas.
Absolutely.
And so we want to celebrate you for what you're doing in the community. And it's unfortunate, I think, that I believe that much of what you were doing is siphoned. Now, that's my personal talk. This is Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. I'm giving to you no straight talk, no chaser, no filter.
Absolutely. That's the truth.
And so now we see other entities, and I was in this situation, and they Jeff, to your point, the words came out of their mouths. We know how to get the grant dollars.
Yep.
And so when that was said, I thought about the CACs who have been battling to get the monies that are really due to them, and we understand the reason they were created. I thought about Habitat for Humanity and how there are many people in our community that were blessed by Habitats and what they were doing. And I thought, well, if we have another organization that wants to come in to reproduce those same services, what would be their reasoning? But we all understand, as you said, housing and affordable housing, that is the buzzword.
Well, it's interesting how benevolence shows up when money shows up. When the money wasn't there, that benevolence wasn't there. We had to look out for ourselves. And so I was able to sit in one of those meetings as well. And I told them to their face. And I told CAC, shout out to TJ.
Go ahead, TJ Hurley.
I told him in their face, why aren't you leading this? CAC has been doing this work for 50 years. Why isn't he getting the funding? And I think as a Black community, and this is why we want to have this conversation, this is the type of conversation we need to have every year and put it on the floor. Like, we can't dance around. We can't let people play in our face no more. We got to tell it like it is.
So if you were wondering what exactly was going on, and this is the thing that I'm hoping that takes place. So that is healthcare. We're talking about healthcare.
Yeah, we got 3 more after that.
and we haven't begun the conversation. Now, one thing that I want to address, Jeff, because many times people have said, you guys do a great job of having conversations. We okay, this is great. We're going to get together tomorrow. We have a conversation, but what are you going to do? So I want to bring that. So what is your plan? What is it that you're going to do with the conversation that takes place tomorrow?
Well, on a macro level, we take, what the community says, and we lobby after that. That's the part that people don't see. That's kind of the ugly part of it. The part that almost nobody does is it's one thing to have a conversation. It's another thing to follow it with legislators and leaders. And that's the ugly part. That's the part that gets me on bad terms with some people, because, the way I'm saying it right now is the way I say it in different rooms, that we have to go in and advocate for the community. A lot of people don't like the fact that you put your community's issues on Front Street right directly in their face. They don't like it.
Well, and I'm going to say this. We had a conversation before we got there, and I'm going to post something because I think it's funny. Cherise Steele Phillips, she said, does breaking generational curses play into generational health and wealth as it relates to health and housing? I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't use the word generational curse. I would say historical curses. And oftentimes we've been at the head of those historical curses, because when we get to a position or in a place that we could actually make an impact, we self-implode. And so I would say that we haven't learned that history is records of the past, and the purpose of history is to learn from past mistakes.
Absolutely.
And we continue to do some of those same things over and over again. Now, back to the point that you were making, Jeff. When we put those things on blast, and we were having a conversation off, and I asked you if you had seen the movie Amend. If you're out there and you haven't seen or watched the Netflix special Amend, there are 6 episodes of a show, and the title is Amend. It's narrated by a number of African American and a number of actors in period, but Will Smith is the main guy. And in here, it talks about how the need for the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendments, and the importance of the 14th Amendment, that we would have equal protection under the law. And what we see, and this was what was so interesting, is that every time we were making strides, every time we would get to that glorious breakthrough where we were making changes, whether it was in the right to vote or whether it was in being equally protected in the workplace, it was always the court systems that would define policy that would push us back 20 years or so.
Absolutely.
And so what you're saying is that when we think about CAP, and people are saying, what are you doing? There is you're an advocacy group.
Absolutely.
And so a part of what you're doing is trying to have these conversations, to build a coalition within the community of community people, where you are able to then use that as leverage to help influence policy.
Absolutely.
How important is that to the mission that you guys have?
It's everything to us. It's literally our mission. We don't do anything without the community. And so what we do in forums like this is we get feedback from the community. And there's a backdrop to that as well. The backdrop is that oftentimes in our local government, in our county government, even our state government, people don't feel heard. And we provide an opportunity for people to be heard. And that's why, we get a lot of people to come out, because they now feel heard. And then we can take that information and, we can advocate and, dare I say, lobby, because we have to understand that lobbying is a huge part of how policy is shaped in our communities. And so, we do that work.
I want to say this, and I've been a longtime fan at the very beginning of what's going on. And this is my personal critique and personal criticism. I want to have this because I know that there's probably other people that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give this to you because I want to have this because I know it's in the forefront of many people, because we watch your posts. I'll tell you, when I first started kind of understanding who you were and looking, I don't know how your wife was connected to my family.
Yep.
And she's got about 2 cents of a sense in her head. I love her, Kimmy. If you're out there, I absolutely love you. But she's hilarious. She's funny, but she's been around and connected to the family for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that I liked about what you were saying, just in your regular day commentary, one is that you're a reader. You do read, and your perspectives and your opinions, I enjoy them, even if I don't agree with them 100%. And I think that's one of the things about us that I really enjoy this relationship. To be able to get along and to be friends with some people, you have to think how they think.
Yeah.
You have to say what they say. And that's not the case. We agree on some things, but where we differ. We have those conversations and we move on. And we focus on the things that we can work with, that we are united in how we operate. There she is. She says, we go way back. We're cousins from C-Town. I love you, Kimmy, if you're out there. But this is what I want to say. And I want you to give me feedback from my critique.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I love is your opinion and how you operate with some of the ways you think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
One of my I'd be like, oh, Jeff, the things that I'm concerned about is like, bro, I don't want you to get to a place, and sometimes I feel like you cross that boundary, because it's a very delicate balance where sometimes you go in and you set the whole house ablaze. Like, if it ain't gonna happen, we gonna burn it all down. And I'm like, bro, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. What do you say about that kind of critique?
I say you're not alone. We have that conversation in-house. A couple of my CAP people share your concern.
Okay.
And so it is, I pay attention to it. I receive it, and, I'm aware of it. And so I try to watch, how I advocate. It's a learning process. Shout out to Bishop Coleman. He's really influential in that way as well.
I can see him pulling you in as a godfather.
Oh, man.
Well, son, go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, and I'm so thankful for him for that mentorship, because he's served in so many different capacities, and so
absolutely.
For him to he can give me a story with every lesson. It's like, look, I've been there, I've done that. I'm gonna tell you where I went wrong, and I can get that critique, but I get it in love as well.
Bishop Coleman and his brother Charles Coleman, back in the day, they were wearing them black berets and burning everything down. So they understand there may be a better way that we can operate and maneuver. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll get back. We're going to talk about more of the state of Black Saginaw, who needs to be there, and what we're going to be doing as we get into that conversation on tomorrow. Stick, stay, don't go away.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Game on, Mid-Michigan. Coach Ryan Wasik here from Bell Wasik GMC Buick, your only local Buick dealer and home of the lifetime warranty. If you've been fumbling around town in a car you hate, punt it, because this month you could drive a nicer, newer car for just $1 down. See, all I want to do is watch football, but I can't relax until I kick off the new year. So get your head in the game, and you could drive home in a car you love for just $1 down. That's a touchdown for not much down. Plus, at Bell Wasik GMC Buick, we're all about affordability. We don't leave anything up to a coin toss. My team has a playbook of solutions. We work hard to help you find the car you love for a monthly payment you can afford. So if you want to feel like a winner, but your old ride makes you feel like a loser, punt it and touchdown for just $1 down in a nicer, newer car. But hurry, a deal this good won't last long and it won't go into overtime. I'm Ryan Wasik and I'm your dealer for the people. See all my MVP rides at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit and $1 down requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely ends January 31st, 2025.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. How can I help you? My schedule is crazy. I just want some me time. We could all use a sanctuary from stress. Why not turn your bedroom into the place to decompress with our selection of comfortable beds, pillows, decor, mood lighting, and so much more? Every time you step in there, it's nothing but me time. I mean, you time.
Sounds like a dream.
Here to make your me time dreams come true. Visit us in-store or at ikea-usa.com/sleep to create a comfy, blissful bedroom today.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a huge inheritance. But a phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard for a new one on us. Just trade in any phone from our top brands with select unlimited plans. $829.99 purchase with new smartphone line on select unlimited plans. Minimum $90 per month with auto pay plus taxes and fees for 36 months required. Place $830 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Trade-in terms apply. Payoff phone requires smartphone purchase and port-in with new smartphone line on select plan. Must provide most recent bill showing payoff amount of eligible phone. Additional terms apply.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
As the weather gets colder, it's a good idea to layer up with scarves, hats, and mittens. Another layer of protection this season is to get your flu and COVID-19 vaccines. You can get both vaccines at the same time. Talk to your healthcare provider or learn more at michigan.gov/COVID-flu-RSV and layer up for some added peace of mind. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call,
Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-749-8188. 800-749-8188. 800-749-8188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
This is Kareem, and we're back here in the studio with Jeffrey Bulls of Saginaw Cap. We have been having a great conversation, and I think that one thing that I didn't anticipate was the demonstration of the fact that as leaders in the Black community, tomorrow you're going to have a couple hundred, hopefully, folks that are coming in. I know the turnouts have been very good. And there's going to be some different disagreements. There's going to be differing opinions. But as I told you on our commercial break, one of the things that I value about our relationship and the way that we operate is that we can feel very different. I can disagree with you. I can be, no, we can have that. And then when we part, the conversation ends there. We think differently about it, but it doesn't stop us from working together.
Yep.
And we've seen other communities, people say, hey, we're going to work together to get the money. I ain't got to like you to make change happen.
Right.
We don't have to like each other to make change happen.
Right.
But we've got to be willing to work together. So tomorrow. So those 4 pillars, once again.
Black health, Black leadership, Black dollars, Black votes.
This is the state of Black Saginaw. This conversation will take place tomorrow. Thank you, Kimberly Austin Bulls. She and there being a great help meet at CAC Hall on Perkins Street tomorrow at 6 p.m. This is a CAP talk, which will then become CAP action as they begin to advocate for us by understanding that the prejudice is in the policy. The racism is in the policy these days. You need to understand that. Nobody's wearing coned white hats, and well, some of them are. They start to wear them again, or swastikas and things of that nature. But the racism is in the policy. So we got to have conversations, and then we've got to be able to advocate. We've got to be able to do the dirty word called lobbying and make these things happen. Who's going to be a part of this conversation? Is there a panel? Tell me the forum. What's the layout of what we're expecting for tomorrow?
Well, no panel. That was the biggest criticism we had last year. It was the only criticism, is that because we had too big of a panel, there wasn't enough actual commentary from the audience. And so we flipped that on its head. No panel. We have a great moderator, Dr. Hinton.
Oh, she's one of my favorite. Those of you who don't know who Dr. Hinton is, she has been around for a while. Do you know what her actual title is out at Saginaw Valley State University?
I do not.
I want to say it's like adjunct provost or something of that nature. But what I want to tell you this is when our kids have issues at Saginaw Valley, I can give her a call and she gets right to it. She's very responsive. She has a history in sociology. I believe she was a sociology professor. If you ever want to have a good conversation where you leave there feeling like you have been enlightened and informed, Dr. Dawn Hinton is the one. She gonna get us all the way together tomorrow. I've never had anyone who challenged my perspectives and my thoughts in the manner and in perfect artistic creativity with education, the way that Dr. Dawn has. So I am looking forward to her engaging and not allowing people to say things that they may say that have no basis.
Absolutely.
We say a lot of things about the Black community that have no real basis. On tomorrow, we're going to have fact checks on those,
Absolutely.
I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So she's going to be the moderator. You're creating a platform for people to talk and have this dialogue.
Yes.
So those areas, education, what do you think is going to be the area? What did you think is the place that we can muster up support most to begin to make change happen?
I think too. The black votes is going to be a real interesting one. We got to really tap into this last election. What happened? Good, bad, indifferent.
What happened?
Man, some ugliness. We don't have enough time, but we will have time tomorrow for sure. But there were some things that then lead into black leadership. Those two things we really need to talk about, because black leadership, or the lack thereof, kind of affected the black vote, and we need to get into that.
All right. I want to ask you a question that is based upon what you just said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I like to deal with things that that's gonna get us in trouble.
Straight talk.
Straight talk. When you think about the black leadership in our community, right? There's some people who say, okay, Jeff, you're a leader. Kareem, you're a leader. And then there are other individuals who don't think or acknowledge the leadership that we may have been able to carve out as individuals. Mm-hmm. What do you see as one of the consistent issues as it relates to black leadership in the city of Saginaw that we continually see happening that is problematic to our future growth?
I would say true black advocacy. We're afraid to be black, and we're afraid to be black in Lansing. We're afraid to be black on city council. We're afraid to be black at the school board level. That has to change. We have to be unapologetic in our advocacy for our community, because other communities are. It's okay to be black. It's okay to advocate for black issues. And, that's the biggest thing. And black candidates. Let's be clear about that as well. In this last election, especially at the representative level, we had a actual doctor who was really, really, poised to take that position, and black people were afraid to advocate for her. And we got to talk about that.
You mean at the Congress level, like
absolutely,
at the US level? Okay.
Yes. And I'm unapologetic in my advocacy for Dr. Pam Pugh. I'll just say her name. We were afraid to advocate for her, and that has to be addressed. I gotta understand why.
There's another conversation that's there. I like Dr. Pugh, but I don't. Some people may say that we were afraid to advocate for. I don't think that that's necessary. For me, it's not the issue. I think that there's something different that I see there, and I would love to have that conversation. I can't have it tomorrow. I can't wait for it tomorrow, 6 p.m. CAC. It's all going down. Be there or be square. I love what you said and how you positioned the idea that we are afraid to be black. Here at Straight Talk, one of the things that we don't mind talking about being black. I don't talk about anything else about what we need in our community. We see the black and brown. We always say black and brown community. Well, I told you that there are certain things that nobody has had the struggle that the blacks have had in this country.
Right.
And there have been other people who have been benefactors of the work that has taken place. Go and read or go and listen tonight if you have an opportunity. Amend on Netflix. It talks about the work that we were doing and we have done as a people, and how we've kicked down doors that other people have been able to benefit from, and how they have become the banners or the mainstays for the benefits and the rights that have happened. And we have somehow been become a second-class citizen to a fight and a battle that we started initially.
Absolutely.
So we are here today. Tomorrow it's going down. The state of Black Saginaw. Be okay to say black. I am unapologetically black, and we're gonna be black 365.
Absolutely.
As my great aunt used to say, the only thing I gotta do as a black man or a black woman is stay black and die.
That's right.
So I thank you guys for tuning in on today. I hope you guys continually take care of yourselves and each other. Tomorrow is MLK Day, but y'all read the temperatures and have some common sense out there. MLK is gonna know that you love him when you just walk every day in the thoughts of his legacy. But the temperatures are brutal out there. Take care, bundle up. The kids are wearing hoodies and not coats. Put a coat on them this week. These next few days are very dangerously cold, brutally cold, disrespectful cold. We love you guys. We look forward to engaging with you all tomorrow at 6 p.m. at CAC Hall, the State of Black Saginaw. So if you come tomorrow, understand that, and you are not Black, understand that you are welcome, but you are not the focus of the conversation.
Absolutely.
This is a Black space for Black conversation, and we got to have a place to air our dirty laundry. And thank you guys for continually tuning in. Take care of yourselves and each other. Grace and peace.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions